right, hockey fans, so here we go. Game 1 Western Conference Finals. The Dallas Stars versus the Edmonton Oilers. If you are new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. We have been making Florida Panthers and NHL videos for 8 seasons. We're trying to get to 8,000 subscribers. Now, if you are new here, the way the format for these recaps work is I do a little pregame intro like this, and then after each period and before each overtime period, I will do a segment letting you know how manic I am at that point, depending on how the play is going, and of course, if it's a Panther game. And then, of course, do a post-game segment. Now, in terms of this series, I didn't do a series preview. I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know enough about these teams on an intricate level. What I can say is that the more that I looked at this situation, I really have a hard time finding a way for Edmonton to win. Dallas has the experience, obviously, of having been in the Western Conference Finals last year, and then this year they beat the champs and they beat the other champs in Colorado. So the experience is all there. They've got the goaltending. Flip side is that Edmonton has some questionable goaltending. Skinner can be good. Skinner can be really good. But, you know, there was a reason why the Oilers tried to go out and get Linus Ullmark. So, look, last year, my Panthers, nobody gave us a chance against the Bruins, and miracles happened. Edmonton has the talent to dominate in stretches. I don't see it happening. Do I think they're going to win a game or two? Sure. I think I would feel comfortable saying Dallas in 6. Wouldn't surprise me to see Dallas in 4. However, though, it just all depends on Edmonton and if they can hang with this really tough, experienced Dallas team. So the only other part is Ottinger. You know, all goalies are human. He's got to be human 4 times in the next 7 games. I mean, I know McDavid, Draisaitl. That's the only thing. I mean, that's the only reason Edmonton's here in the first place, right? So I know talking about a sweep is probably a bit hyperbolic. 5, 6, more likely. And let's just have some good hockey. No overtime, please, because my son and I still have to stream Panthers and Rangers, and those are going to be going to overtime. So no overtime here. It's just a nice, clean, non-controversial game without goalie interference. Reviews, let's do it. All right, so there's no score after 1. Look, both of you teams, Dallas, Edmonton, I pay good money to watch these games. I get enough defense watching my Panthers play every night. Enough defense and enough goaltending. Trust me. Goals, excitement, something, please. Both teams have had a couple of chances. They can't hit the net. If they do manage to complete a pass, which the first half of the period, neither team could do that. Now they're starting to complete passes a little bit and miss the net and miss the net and miss the net. And both goaltenders are going to play, nuts out. We'll just put it that way. So, don't look like we're getting a high-scoring game here. Edmonton looks a little bit better than I thought they would. Dallas does not look like the Dallas does not look like the conference finals experienced team at home. They don't. So let's move on to the second period. So 2-1 Edmonton after 2. Edmonton gets 2. Dallas gets 1 back on a bad defensive giveaway, inability to clear the puck. The Edmonton, the 2 goals came so quick, and we thought we were going to have like a score fest, and then it was 2-1, and then we went right back to sleep. The action's pretty good. Both goaltenders are playing pretty well. Now, I know I said earlier in the video, I might have misspoke a little bit because we were talking about it on the stream. When I was talking about how the Stars have the experience in the conference finals, obviously I left out the part where the Oilers did make it a few years back, but it wasn't with Skinner. So I was trying to make that point. I don't remember exactly what I said, but when they were talking about it on the stream, I was like, I better correct myself in case I said it how I didn't mean to say it, because I never know how I say it until after I go back and rewatch and see what I said. So what I'm saying right now is I think all things considered, the fact that this is going to be a late game, and I got to drive 2 hours to get my son tomorrow, in the morning, that pretty much guarantees this game is going to overtime. Probably be about 5-5 heading into overtime, and then we'll get the 6 goals somewhere around midnight or 1 or 2. Let's see how this goes.
We are going to overtime!
Edmonton, you dirty sons of bitches. You almost pulled it off, and now we are going to overtime. Oh, and who knows? I mean, look. I mean, they scored, it was 2-1. They had scored the 3 goals real quick, and then it was just like for a period and a half. Not bad hockey, good hockey. Just, it's late. And, you start watching with one eye, you know what I mean? And then just out of nowhere, Edmonton leaves again all alone at the side of the net. It's not a power play. They hadn't pulled the goalie. It wasn't a man advantage. Just left the dude just all alone at the side of the net. You cannot do that. You can't do that, Edmonton. And now, it's not 3-on-3. There's no shootout. We could be here all sorts of long. All sorts of long. That doesn't make any sense. I just reminded myself of, my son and I streamed the Panther games. Last year, game 1 of the Eastern Conference Finals was 4 overtimes. No. 5 minutes into overtime. I don't even care who wins at this point. 4:36 into overtime. Somebody's going to take a shot, and the puck is going to get deflected, and it's going to hit the dude's stick, and it's going to go up and over the goalie's head and behind his back and spin like a quarter and just spin right behind him and get into the net, and then we can go to bed. All right, let's do this.
We are going to overtime!
Oh! What kind of team starts off their conference finals with a multiple overtime game? First game out the box. Who does that? So, 17 seconds into overtime, Connor McDavid takes a double minor for high sticking, and the Stars, Robertson specifically, hits the far post, and then it bounces. I mean, the amount of luck. He hits the far post, and it bounces back towards Skinner through his legs, and he just finds the puck as it's coming back out through his legs, puts his glove over it, and that chance is ended. And then a few seconds later, Robertson beats him short side with a beautiful high shoulder, short side snipe, but he dings it off the post, and here we are. And then towards the end of the first overtime, McDavid gets Ottinger down. He gets the puck alone in front, and he gets him down, and he's even on his forehand, and Ottinger's laying there splayed out, and he's got the paddle blocking wherever. He's got the paddle out. But all McDavid either has to do is just lift the puck up or just slap shot it into oblivion. The puck's going to go in the net. But he waits for Ottinger to put the paddle down, which he kind of never does. He just waits and holds on to the puck. And then finally when he decides to shoot, the defenseman, I forget who it was, but he gets over and blocks the shot. And McDavid, you're Connor McDavid. You have to shoot that puck. And so we are going to overtime again. I don't know how long we are going to be here. Look very much like Panthers-Canes game 1 last year. This series is going to be a little bit different than we thought, huh? Right? I mean, if Skinner's going to play like this, let's be honest. Everybody who thought the series was going to be a certain way, don't give yourself any crap, because I don't think anybody thought that Skinner would be playing like this. Now, it is one game, but Edmonton needs to win this game. They too. I'm not saying they deserve or they don't deserve to win this game, but the way that they have played, the way Skinner has played, they need to win this game. if they want to win this series. But I think this one, this might go 6-7 games. Right now, things are even. So, last year, stood here going to overtime with the Panthers and Canes. We are halfway there. Let's see how late we can stay up tonight or this morning. Yeah. There are some moments in sports that the only thing that you can do is look at the other team or the other player and say, bruh, how do you play 4 nice, disciplined periods of hockey, Dallas? How do you do that? And then leave Connor McDavid alone in front of the net for more than a half a second, too, by the way. I mean, he had time to just stand there. Had time to just stand there. Nobody even really paid attention to him. And he deflects it right in past Ottinger. 32 seconds, I think, into the second overtime. We had barely finished our donut. We almost ate a whole box of donuts tonight. So the Edmonton Oilers nail down a 1-0 series lead. I thought we were fixing to be. I mean, it was late enough. Don't get me wrong. But the way that these two teams have been playing, you never knew how many overtimes we were going to get out of that one. Skinner, and you got to give that one to Skinner. He played freaking fantastic out of his mind. I don't watch a lot of Edmonton hockey, obviously, being on the East Coast and being a Panther fan. But I mean, he outplayed Ottinger, right? He did. It's just no way around that. So, I kept saying as we were still streaming, and I kept saying Edmonton needs to win this game because you get this deep on the road, this deep in overtime on the road in a game one. If Dallas would have come back and won that game, I think that would have disheartened Edmonton significantly. So they needed to win that game and make the game that Skinner had count, and they did. And I heard people thinking Dallas is going to win in 4. I kind of said 5 or 6. Look, the first 2 games against Vegas, Dallas looked terrible, and Vegas looked like they could repeat, right? So anything can happen here. But Edmonton is certainly not going to be bullied by this Dallas team. It's just not going to happen. So you got to give them credit. I know that it's a lot with the high-end talent, and maybe some people feel like Edmonton is not as balanced as a team like Florida or whatnot. But if you can play that kind of defense and you get the goaltending, you're going to win games. So, and Dallas now they're on the hook. Having a home ice advantage, you can't go down 0-2 because if you give Edmonton a 2-0 lead, now they're going back to Edmonton. That's going to be rocking and rolling and reeling. You know what I mean? So Dallas is on the hook now. Edmonton came in. Worst thing is they got the split, and Dallas is going to have to find a way to get some more offensive chances. It wasn't like they looked bad out there. Way too many back passes and cross-ice passes, especially in the first 2 periods. Dallas had a lot more zone entries than the shots on goal would lead you to believe, but they continued to screw themselves with the back passes and cross-ice passes, and give Edmonton credit, they were getting their sticks on the puck, but shoot at the net or put the puck behind the net. It's the playoffs. You don't do back passes and cross-ice back passes. I've seen a couple of times where the Dallas guy would have it in the circle, and he's coming cross-ice to the other side of the ice near the blue line, and, Edmonton's just putting their puck on the stick. So Dallas is going to have to figure out another way. I don't understand why they weren't just dumping and chasing and winning board battles in a tight game like this. So maybe that's the style that they are going to get back to, or maybe they can't. You know what I mean? I'm kind of spoiled. The Panthers can beat you any which way. I'm not all that schooled in the intricacies of how Dallas plays on a regular basis, but if they play that style again, I mean, oh no, man. I went into this series kind of thinking I don't see any way Edmonton wins, but if Skinner continues to play this way, this series is anybody's series. That's for sure. So, all right. It's late. That's okay. This was fun. This was good. I don't get to do a lot of Western Conference hockey. If you're new here, which you might be, please do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button. We are in our 8th season of covering the Panthers in the NHL, trying to get to 8,000 subscribers at the end of that season. We're getting close. We're getting real close. We're crawling along 5 at a time, but that's how it goes. All right. Yeah, Colin and I will be live tomorrow morning at noon, and then we will be live 1/2 hour before the Panthers and Rangers. Game 2. Oh boy. Hopefully no overtime, but you never know how it's going to go around here.